Hi, JC here with another Pacific Fence Spotlight. Today's show is about Spokane and RainFurrest. I'll be giving you my reviews a little bit later. I got a lot of good footage of RainFurrest, but unfortunately, I can't show it to you because YouTube only allows me so much time, and there's too much stuff to put in there. So if you go to this website, www.pack-fen.com, a lot of fun. You'll have get the full show about an hour long. I think after editing it'll be about. Today's show, we're going to do a little review. Spokane, unfortunately, I didn't get any footage because stupidly, I left my power cord home again, just like I did last year. It's starting to get a habit now, unfortunately. But I did have some fun there, though, so I just decided to take the con off and just kind of relax and enjoy it. But I give you my review here, so sorry about that. Now, this year's theme was, Are You Fan Enough? And personally, yes, I was. The writer guest of honor was L.E. Nesbitt. Artist guest of honor was John Picasso. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Also, other guests included illustrator turned author Mark Ferrari. We interviewed him last year at Spokane and did a great book called The Book of Joby. Really fun book. Check it out. And Blue Falcon Editing's Andrea Howe. Really cool person. She was one of the guests of honor this year. We also interviewed her last year, so really cool time. Programming was fairly cool. They had a good, interesting mix of writing and art panels, as most cons do. What really got me for this year was they had a youth track. Now, it wasn't just a kid con where you drop your kid off for 10 hours and let them play video games. No, it was an actual full track of programming dedicated specifically for kids. A lot of interactive and physical activities too. So it was a lot of fun for the kids. Really good. Kudos for Spokane to that one. Another good thing that Spokane pulled out this year was gaming. They had a lot of good stuff for gaming opportunities. If you're a LAN gamer, they had a nice big LAN going on. They had board games, RPG games, miniature games, tactical games. It was a lot of fun. They had the RPGA there. They were doing some tournaments. They had some 4th edition D&D. Got a chance to play. It's not as bad as most people think, and of course it's not as good as other people think. But that's a whole another show. In any case, a lot of fun for gaming. The convention was held at Gonzaga University as it was last year, and beautiful campus. Beautiful campus. If you're ever in Washington State, ever in Spokane, especially Eastern Washington, Spokane, and you get a chance to visit the campus, just wonderful. Great. Problem. Gonzaga is really spread out, and so is the convention. And in that heat, August heat, and the Eastern Washington, not happening. Guy my size, we sweat a lot. No, not going to work. So I had a problem with the location. Not for its beauty, it was wonderful, but just the layout. I mean, I have to walk from building to building just to get different things, and they don't give me. I mean, they allotted for some time, but not much, and so I nearly gave myself a coronary. So the location, they need to move. I understand that it's to reduce costs for the guests, but unfortunately, the cost wasn't reduced that much for those of us who actually had to stay in the hotel, because we can't stay in campus housing because the mattresses are this thin. So, bad location. They get some really thumbs down for the location. I'm sorry, Spokane. I love you guys, but the location is horrible for a convention. Wonderful place to visit. I'm sure it's a great place to go to school, but it's a lousy place to hold a convention, so sorry. As for hospitality, it was a much better location this year, but the offerings were a little bit less. Last year they had Hot Pockets, hot dogs, and burritos. This year they only had hot dogs, and although they're okay, you want a little bit of variety, especially in your hot foods. But the fact that they were a convention that actually offered hot foods, that was something. Although Spokane does things a little bit differently. They actually charge for their hospitality, so it's not so much hospitality as it is the con eatery. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it helps them make make up some of the money on that. But some conventions do things. I mean, the conventions do things differently. So hospitality does get a half plus for having a much better location. But it would have gotten a bit of full plus, but the offerings kind of knocked it down. One thing about Spokane that does concern me is basically it's kind of some of the decisions they make on their spending. Now, understand that different conventions do different things, and there's no real as far as when conventions succeed, because Spokane did succeed. When conventions succeed, there's really no right way of succeeding as opposed to a wrong way of succeeding. When you succeed, you succeed. So Spokane does things a little bit differently than most science fiction conventions out in this area. But one of the things that really concerned me was for a convention this size is they, first of all, they charge for hospitality. Unusual, but hey, if that's the way they want to go, no problem. But then they turn around and spend all that money on really expensive pocket programs. I mean, the usual, your program book is going to be the really expensive one, but the pocket program was really high quality too. And usually for a pocket program, you know, you want something that's going to be a little bit, you know, a little bit cheaper, because especially since it's going to get destroyed quickly anyway. So, granted, it's just an opinion, but I think they could have probably saved a little bit money off their publications and spent a little bit more on, you know, better housing. But that's just my opinion. All in all, however, it was a very good convention. I mean, that is truly the true mark of success for a convention, in my opinion, as a con goer, is, did I have a good time? In this case, yes. Would I recommend to other people? Yes. Would I recommend to my viewers? Absolutely. A lot of fun time. You know, logistics notwithstanding, would I go again? Absolutely. So it was a great time. It was a really good convention. Overall, with all the negatives and positives that I would rate them, they get about a 2.5, which you might think is a little bit on the low side. Well, the biggest thing that got them that low was the location. Again, that spread out location, I gave them a really big double negative on that one, so that really hurt them, in my opinion. But overall, the convention was still fantastic. So that was SpoCon, a lot of fun. Go to their website. It'll be on our website. And now RainFurrest. RainFurrest was much bigger this year. Last year they had 599 people. This year they had 911. That's almost a 50% growth. If they're not careful, they're going to be busting the seams of this hotel here. So guests of honor included artist Ferrari Nightclaw, fursuiting guru Nicodemus. They also had comedian To the Ranting Griffin, and of course, one of my favorite bards, Mr. Alexander James Adams himself. A lot of fun this year. Start off with registration, very smooth. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a convention even of that size. They had 911 attendees. I don't think I've ever seen a convention of that size have a registration run that smoothly. You know, it took me 2 minutes from the time I walked through the door till the time I left with my badge, and the reason why it took me that long was just having to dig up my ID from my wallet. It would have taken me longer had I not actually pre-regged, but again, the time would have been limited to the amount of time it would have taken me to fill out the form, not the amount of time they took to do whatever they needed to do. So red tape, there was none. I mean, real smooth. There was a couple of people at the Scritch and Hitch who said that they had a over 10-minute wait time on registration when they went in, but I think that was an extreme rarity. It was an exception when it happened. Most of the other people, there was about 200 to 300 people in the Scritch and Hitch, and they all had less than 5-minute wait time. So really smooth registration, really good thing on that. One of the downsides was the dealer's room was, the physical size of the room was adequate. They want to get more dealers in there, but part of the problem was with the layout that they were using. First of all, there was some unutilized space, not much, but there was some, and the layout that they had, there was space just enough to be like two of me walking side by side. Could get through. The problem with that is if you get somebody my size, or even somebody literally half my size standing here, and then somebody half my size standing here, I would still have a tough time to squeeze through, because they're not going to be right up flush against the table. They're going to be standing back again. And so not much room to walk through. So it was kind of on the downside. They are working to not only add more new dealers, but they are working to rearrange the layout so there'll be a lot more room for people to walk through for more crowd control. I think they're going to be adding an extra room on the off that ballroom to do so. I don't know, hopefully, but we'll see. But it was a downside for this year, but they are aware of it and they are going to be working on it for next year. Programming, oh my God, they had a blast. This was nothing but a big, huge party. When I mean party, I mean party! There was a lot of fun. There was a lot of stuff going on, interactive stuff. First of all, we started off with the guest of honor dinner. They actually had a celebrity roast, Dean Martin style. They did Nicodemus, who was the fursuiter guest of honor. Although I have to say that of all the really cool guys that got up there to do some really funny jokes, the one that got Nicodemus the best was, well, let's be honest, his wife. Well, she would have the inside scoop. But that was a lot of fun. It was really cool. So that's all we have for this YouTube edition of Pacific Fen Spotlight. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Of course, if you want to really enjoy yourself, go to this website, www.pack-fen.com. You know the website. I keep telling you every show. Go there. See the whole big show, the hour-long show, thereabouts, and see all the fun we had, and yeah, just go there and have fun. And well, until next time, this is JC, reminding you to get your geek on with Pacific Fen Spotlight.
I scream and shout so you can hear. I tell you that the end is near. I still can't stand, I still can't think. You win me with my favorite drink. Give me that glass, though I feel asinine. If I can't grump, I'll drink plum wine.